Putting the wrong coach with the wrong coachee is a real, and as you've talked about, going through the motion of just you're getting coached and not being able to set the scenes right at the beginning means that people can almost use it as a weapon sometimes. Right, okay. Well, actually, I've been coached, and my coach said is, so again, talking around taking things out of context, you have to be really careful about the power of words. When you start having that coaching and that people see the benefit of it, what generally happens when we all come to work, we talk about things. We talk about the weekend, what's gone on. We genuinely, and I'll be interested to know what the little chat in the office here is, because it's always fascinating for me. We do like as an office culture to moan about a scenario or a situation, and actually we find that lessens because someone will come in from a different perspective and they've started to empower the other people to think how they've thought, because people want to share things. So I was told something the other day around the environment, and I was told a rubbish cart full of plastic goes into the ocean every second. Well, that kind of information is something that I then share with other people. And this happens when people are being coached as well. They start to impart this on other people. So that ripple effect actually can go through an office and change a culture quite quickly.
Oh, so you're almost coaching the organisation through a point of contact that you have. The benefits of that person listening to you, they then turn around and not quite coach others, but some of the messaging comes out.
Well, yeah, very much so. Again, it comes back to that ego position of where I don't want to put my hand up because of what people might think. If I'm being coached, I want to kind of show people that I've learned something, and this is what I've learned. And and so they start to think around how it impacts meetings and how their behaviours impact others around them. So they inadvertently start to become a mentor themselves for others that are there. And I think that we don't know who's watching us within an organisation. And I think you are a mentor to everybody. I think even anybody listening right now, when they think about even the network they have or the teams that they have, someone's looking up to them. Yeah. Positively or negatively. Yeah. And they're learning from you.
And everything you say is amplified, isn't it? Certainly in a position of power. I was always taught that. I used to run factories, 300 people working for you. I was told, be very careful what you say, even off the cuff, off the record comments get amplified hugely when people see it coming out of someone in a position of authority. They attach way too much meaning to it, but nevertheless, that's human nature. So be very, very careful.
How I see you do something is how I think you do everything.
Yeah, it's true. That's all you see, isn't it? Okay, so we've talked about some of the benefits there, both the obvious ones and some of the ripple knock-on, less obvious benefits. Clearly, it's not all rosy. Sometimes things go wrong. What are the dangers? What are the disbenefits and the risks?
Putting the wrong coach with the wrong coachee is a real, and as you've talked about, going through the motion of just you're getting coached and not being able to set the scenes right at the beginning means that people can almost use it as a weapon sometimes. Right, okay. Well, actually, I've been coached, and my coach said is, so again, talking around taking things out of context, you have to be really careful about the power of words, even though words only equate to 7% of communication in whole. But you have to be really careful what's being said, because you can be used from both sides. I had an example recently where I was 3 sessions in with somebody. They had quite a lot of issues going on with regards to how people perceived them in the office and the impact. They couldn't see the impact around them. They thought that they were very good at what they were doing. They had some really good sales results, and the team around them were great, and they just needed to pull their socks up. That wasn't necessarily the case, and we did something that was called the Johari window, which was allowing them to see other people's perspectives of them. I met their line manager who had engaged me in the first place in the corridor, and he said, "Oh, how's it going?" I said, "Yep, we're making some progress, and we're starting to see some really good development." He said, "That's lucky, because you're his last opportunity, and you've got 3 sessions, and if I don't see a marked improvement within then, we're getting rid of him. But I can now." And I was like, "Hold on, I'm being played here." And I had been brought in as their window of, well, we tried everything, even coaching, and it was a tick box. So it was not a scenario that was set up to succeed, which is unfortunate. And I have a supervision, and I went to my supervisor and said, to look at the perspective from another angle. And they said, well, you can either back away from this, or you can utilise those 3 sessions to try and make an impact of a positive nature. So we continued. I didn't mention it to the person I was coaching. They did get let go at the end, but actually I got a letter back from them afterwards saying, actually, due to the sessions, they found a role that they were much more comfortable within, and they'd taken some of the lessons from it into that new environment. Yeah. So I think setting where it goes negatively sometimes is when you try something, it doesn't work. Well, that doesn't work. Well, that didn't work, because it might not be bringing in the right person for the right reasons or everyone's different.
So how many times have you decided after starting a coaching agreement to call it a day and suggest a different coach might be better suited?
I'd say about a third.
Not as many as that.
I'd say about a third, and it was unfortunate in some respects is that when you get referred in by somebody, they want to work with you because you worked with so and so, and they said that you were fantastic, and I'm, great, but that's them.
You were fantastic for them.
Exactly, and there was a rapport or there was an understanding, and we think we could work really well. But in my mind, I know a lot of great coaches as well, and I'm looking at the person in front of me and going, whilst this is good, I know you'll get a better experience with somebody else because I think there's a better link.
You rely on your network, and others in your profession do the same, so that if ever you find that you're not the best match, you've got a pretty good guess of who else might be based on what you've then learned.